Classic Reptile. Let's talk about it. I've seen a lot of people saying Classic Reptile got nerfed into the ground. He got absolutely annihilated. But did he really? Let's talk about it. Alright, so Classic Reptile in the latest patch got a pretty substantial nerf. Basically, he used to be able to stack up to 4 poisons from any source. He could literally stack 4 poisons. Now, there is the same thing that you can do with fire and bleed. For fire, you need MK11 Scorpion. He also has a chance to stack... I don't think he even has a limit on fires. I think he can stack unlimited fires. And I think it's one of the Scarlets. I haven't used Scarlet in forever. Is it MK11 Scarlet that can actually stack bleeds? I don't know if there is a limit also. There probably is, but bleeds are, I think, the hardest ones to stack because there is no actual gear that allows you to stack bleeds. However, all of these characters have one thing in common, except Reptile. I mean, now I guess Reptile too. They could never stack fires on their special attacks. Let's say MK11 Scorpion. Let's take a look at this boy. I actually have him. He could never stack fires. Like, he doesn't even have fire on his special attacks. He only has fire on his special 3. But if he did, he wouldn't be able to stack fires on his special attacks. Same with Scarlet and the bleeds. You cannot stack bleeds that come from pretty much special. If special attack has bleed on it, you will not be able to stack them. However, you can stack bleeds, for example, if you have Scarlet's gear and you apply first bleed from her special attack and the second bleed comes from, for example, from combo end or from her gear. In this case, you could actually stack bleed, but only on certain characters that allow it, which, again, for poison, the only character that allows you to stack and have more than one active poison is Classic Reptile, and it still works. I feel like a lot of people misunderstand what Reptile's nerf actually is. He cannot stack poisons on his special attacks, which means if you already have a poison from a special attack on a character and you do another special attack with a poison, it will just replace that poison. However, there is so many other ways to apply poison besides special attacks. For example, his passive. If somebody tagged and got poisoned by his passive, he could still apply second poison with a special attack. And potentially he could still apply third poison if, let's say you have piece of gear, for example, Cabal's... what is it? Cabal's rare piece, I think, applies poison. I don't know. I don't remember. I haven't played with that piece. Anyway, if there is a gear that has another chance to apply poison, it will also be able to stack. So you could theoretically, you could stack 4 poisons with Classic Reptile still. The only thing that changed is that now you cannot just mindlessly spam your special one and apply billion poisons, by billion I mean 4, and just absolutely melt enemies. But Reptile is still poison god in this game. In my opinion, he lost maybe 10-15% of his efficiency. You can still do insane damage. He is the main use, in my opinion, of Classic Reptile is in regeneration battles, where his passive poison can help your enemies not heal while you're killing them. And also you can once in a while apply active poison. And in those situations, when you use Classic Reptile to counteract regeneration, in those situations, you almost never had a chance to apply more than 2 poisons anyway. And you don't need to, because 1 poison is enough to stop regeneration, and you can use the rest of your team to apply more poisons. All right, let's put some gear on. Let's see what we can do here. I'm gonna do this. Gonna give him some block breaker. Gonna give him some power generation. Let's see if this man is still useful. We're gonna do some tower battles. Okay, to be fair, these battles are pretty easy, but I'm just gonna be using only Classic Reptile. So now, in my opinion, you should probably use Special 2. Like, if you have enough power for Special 2, just use Special 2 instead of 2 Special 1s. I was using 2 Special 1s before because it's double poison, more damage, but now it just doesn't work. Oh wow, that's random tagging. Well, that's a perfect time. That's a perfect opportunity. Look at it. She got poisoned. And now let's tag to Reptile and apply second poison. Come on, game. Random tagging. Go. And now we're gonna have 2 poisons. Which is half. Like, I rarely was able to apply more than 2 poisons in once. Oh, I couldn't apply another poison. That sucks. But still, they're poisoned, they cannot heal. That's the main thing about Classic Reptile, is counteract regeneration, in my opinion. The poison damage itself is nice, but 2 poisons are super easy to get, and do you really need more than 2? I don't know, you probably would, but it's not necessary. You can put MK11 Scorpion in there and apply poison and fire and still melt them like crazy. I'm gonna be honest, I don't have a problem with them nerfing Classic Reptile, because honestly he was the only character that could stack poisons from special attacks, and they literally turned it off for anybody else. He was the only one, and it wasn't right. It was super OP. Now, he is still OP. He's just not, like, insanely OP. He's still OP character. I have a problem, however, with the way NetherRealm delivered the news. In their patch notes, they said, fixed the bug where Classic Reptile could stack poisons from his special attacks. The bug! They call it a bug. This was literally a feature of the character since he came out. Since day 1 that we had Classic Reptile, you were able to stack poisons on special attacks. You cannot call something a bug that was in the game for literally years. For years, and they never addressed it, never seemed to have an issue with it until this update. And I'll tell you why. Because Classic Reptile, like, he was one of probably the most used characters on the beginner accounts, and people want they want beginners to start spending money on tower gear. Why would you spend money on tower gear if you can melt towers with Classic Reptile? And so they decided to reduce his effectiveness a little bit by bringing him to basically the level of other godly dot characters like MK11 Scorpions. Like, in terms of dots, Classic Reptile was the winner, absolute winner. Now he came down a little bit, but still up there with the rest. He's now, in my opinion, equal. Like, he's now as good for poisons as MK11 Scorpion is good for fires. I mean, granted, MK11 Scorpion has the best combos in the game, which makes him overall better than Classic Reptile, of course. But, like, in terms of dot efficiency, they're now pretty much equal, because neither of them can stack fire from special attacks. I completely disagree with the way they presented it. What they should have said, and I think it would be so much better, people would understand it so much better if they just came out and said, Classic Reptile, like, character balance. That's what they should have called it. Character balancing. Classic Reptile can no longer stack poison on his special attacks. That would make so much sense. It's totally normal. Every single game, every single card game does it all the time. They balance their characters. They decrease certain, like, they nerf characters that are super OP and they buff characters that are not OP enough. It's normal. And in my opinion, it would feel... Oh god. In my opinion, it would feel so much better if they actually owned it. If they said, we think this character is too OP compared to the others, so we're gonna nerf him. Makes sense. However, I wish they also buffed characters that were super weak. Sometimes they do. They actually did buff a few characters, but honestly, they should be buffing more characters, because there is a lot of absolutely worthless, useless characters. Anyway, the point is, again, I spent 10 minutes talking about something that could be summed up in one sentence. Welcome to Star and Sky channel. We do this every day. Classic Reptile is still incredible character. Do not sleep on him. Do not just not use him because of this nerf. He is still insane. Just requires slight, like, now you cannot just, like, you still need to tag out 2 other characters to do damage. If you have an Outworld team, he will still increase their critical chance. He will still apply lots of poisons, just not insane amount like before. And shame on you, Netherrealm, for just the sneaky nerf that you call a bug fix. It is not a bug fix. It's a nerf. In my opinion, very fair nerf. But it's a nerf. It's not a bug fix. Get your facts straight, Netherrealm. You make me ashamed of you. And I mean, we could talk about Tremor, but like, I feel like there's a lot of people who joined the game. There's a lot of people who joined the game since last update, so they didn't see the Tremor before the update, probably, because a lot of people complaining about Tremor. And Tremor used to be exactly like he is. Like, he was bugged for 1 update, so people got used to it, and now they're disappointed. Tremor is fine. He's still a decent gold. He's not a god like he used to be, but he is still decent. But Classic Reptile is still a god. Slightly weaker, but still a god. Oh god, how many coins are we gonna get today? Give me freaking epic piece of gear, you stupid game. Ooh, we're boss battle 70. You know what that means. Reptile out, Classic Ermac in. Another godly character. Alright. There's nothing to see here anymore. My point about Classic Reptile has been made, and I want to hear your point in the comments. If you agree or disagree, let me know. Let's find out how many people still think that Classic Reptile is now useless. See you in the next video. Thank you, members and Patreons. A wonderful day. Take care.